What are your biggest soap and skincare making pain points? I have been asking this question quite a lot lately, and I always get answers that fall into the following categories. Category number one is oil selection overwhelm. Basically, imagine this: imagine a person who has a shelf full of oils because they went online. There's a one YouTube video that says you should buy hemp seed oil because it's good for the skin. Another YouTube video said you should buy grapeseed oil because it's worth trying. Another video said you should try cocoon butter. And before you know it, you end up having 40 different oils and ingredients without knowing exactly what each does. And I'll give you an example. I received an email from William that told me that he's a beginner and he spent $1,500 on soap making oils, which is an enormous amount of money for soap making because you basically need very few oils to make any soap you want. Category number two is everything to do with scent, and this is something that I'm very passionate about because I hear this all the time. Barry, I bought an essential oil that was very expensive. It smelled amazing. I added it into my soap, and after 3 weeks has faded away. And yeah, raise your hand if this has happened to you, because it has definitely happened to me. And it's something very frustrating because you spend a lot of money on something expensive only to find out that it's not there anymore. So everything around scent, and also everything around how certain scents, certain essential oils, certain fragrance oils actually cause trace acceleration and make your soap butter solidify so fast that you don't have time to pour it into the mold. And then the third is a person who knows how to follow recipes, but they don't understand why they add each ingredient. So every time something goes wrong, they are feeling stuck. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to troubleshoot. So they know how to make soap. They just don't know why it works. If this sounds familiar to you, please stick around because I will announce something that I've never done before. And if you ever want to learn all of this properly, this is the best opportunity. But I want to tell you my story and where all of this comes from. When I was a kid, I loved smells. I loved perfumes. I had a Hugo Boss perfume that I loved to wear. I didn't care about the ingredients at the time, so I never looked at the label to see, okay, what does my shampoo has? What does my soap contain? I just didn't care when I was a teenager. In 2013, I started my bachelor's in chemical engineering, and the first semester we had an organic chemistry course where I, for the first time, saw the saponification reaction. And I was fascinated. I was fascinated with the facts that you can combine oils and lye to produce soap and glycerin. I received my degree in chemical engineering, and I also pursued a master's in biotechnology, and I became more and more interested into ingredients. What basically each product in the supermarket contains and how I can make it myself. So I started making soap and other skincare. I started going to a lot of Christmas markets, selling my products. I started interacting with a lot of people. I started an Instagram and a TikTok channel. I started doing physical workshops and also online workshops. I started learning things that were completely indifferent to soap making. I started learning things like how to build a website, how does packaging work, how do I ship products, everything about photography, and how do I make my soaps look nice on my website. And I realized that everything that I was doing was basically 20% soap making and the rest 80% was business. And along the way, I made every single mistake you could imagine, literally. Like, I bought 5 kilos of unrefined shea butter that has a very strong natural scent that completely overpowered my soap, and even the fragrance and essential oils could not actually cover the scent, and I completely ruined the batch. And that all happened while I was preparing for a Christmas market. I spent real money on very expensive essential oils only to find out that the scent had completely faded away after a few weeks. I had problems with trace acceleration and my soap butter seizing before I even knew it. And apart from the soap making side, there comes the business side. I spent money on packaging that looked amazing, and it ended up not being the ideal packaging for my soaps. And I learned all of this the very expensive, slow, and lonely way. Start of 2026, I began my YouTube channel, and this has been amazing because it has created this phenomenal community of soap makers and people interested in soap and skincare making. So I started interacting with hundreds of people through comments, through online workshops, through physical workshops, and through all of these interactions, the emails, the messages, the online events, the on-site events, I found the exact same pain points. I found out that people have the exact same pain points coming up all over and over again. What I've come to realize is that people actually learn more, learn best when they learn together with someone else. It's what I figured out through my online events, and that's what I figured out from the private community where people actually share ideas together. So the people who learn the most and who actually advance the fastest in soap and skincare making are not necessarily the people who are the most experienced ones. They are the people who actually do this with someone else. They are the people who are interacting the most, sharing their challenges, and being part of a community. And here's exactly what I'm doing, and I've never done this before. For 5 days only, starting August 26th, when you join my full video course, you can bring one person with you for free. So you both get lifetime access to the 20 video lessons, to the private community, and to the Soap Hub, which is the soap making tool that I have developed. A partner, a sibling, a friend, a colleague, whoever you want to learn with. Both of you gets lifetime access to all of the material. So 2 people, 1 price. And let me tell you this is not a discount. This is not me offering 20% off and calling it a deal. This is an invitation to learn this and do this with someone else because I've seen that this is what works best for people. The link is in the description. The offer is live August 26th, and you can join the waitlist to get updated before everyone else. I didn't have any of this when I was starting out. I didn't have video courses. I didn't have a community to share my challenges with. I didn't have soap making tools like the Soap Hub. And it's everything I wish I had when I was starting out. The link is in the description. 5 days, bring someone. Thank you for watching. See you guys.